We've just had Jim put his tablet with his SIM card up the mast, so we get 18 meters of elevation, and he's actually picking up a signal from the island of Rhodes, which is Greek, way over there. The gophers come out. Well, the wind gods played with us, and eventually the wind just dropped down to nothing, and as you can see, it's almost like a mill pond out here, very glass-like. We're about an hour and a half away from our destination of Bozukkale, the little bay there with 3 restaurant jetties available to us. We're going to one we've never been to before, at the farthest end inside the bay. Jim's been there before and he says it's very nice. Ange's down below having a little nana nap. Yeah, I think it'll be great to get to Bozukkale. There's a big blow meant to be coming in tomorrow, and I think this is the calm before the storm. It's very overcast, and it's got that stillness. The clouds are just those grey, flat clouds, so we'll hopefully be nicely, securely tied up by the time the blow comes in. It shouldn't bother us, and we can get some work done. 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon, we've just arrived at Bozukkale. It's been a mixed bag of weather today. It's now very overcast, and it looks like it might even rain tonight, so who knows. We're tied up side 2, there's only Acheron here with Jim and Alex on board, so even if we take up enough space for 5 boats, it really doesn't matter. I don't think they're going to get any more visitors anytime soon, and if there are there's plenty more spaces. So tonight we will be dining in the restaurant here, as is the protocol when you use the restaurant jetties, and then tomorrow it's head down, bum up, nose to the grindstone as we bang out a few more videos, because we've got to get some breathing space.
So then we can stop and smell the roses, if you like.
Yeah. Final touch is putting the boat to bed, and then we'll go and check out what's happening around here.
Yeah. It's nice. We were here before, but we were in a different little restaurant jetty, so it's nice to be in a different one. This one's got a beach, a pebble beach.
Yeah.
And there are lots of little sort of ruins of houses around here from ancient times, which I'm looking forward to exploring.
And allegedly some donkeys.
Yes.
In the evening, we put on some warm jackets and went to have dinner in the open-air restaurant.
This is the official opening of the summer office? Not quite.
So it's a wet, blowy Sunday, and we've just had Jim put his tablet with his SIM card up the mast, so we get 18 meters of elevation, and he's actually picking up a signal from the island of Rhodes, which is Greek, obviously, way over there. It's very, I mean, we're on the edge of that signal, I would guess. The speed is slow, almost in reverse, but we are getting things done, which is great. We've managed to reply to a lot of comments on our YouTube video. Ansha is speedy stitching a little piece for something we'll show you later on. It's one of those days where you can't go outside because it's blowing a gale. Actually, the wind's just dropped off as I say that. We're just going to try and work with what we've got to try and get things done. And this is just the reality of living life on a boat, and trying to run a YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything else, the webpage.
So yeah, you work with nature. This lifestyle teaches you that you're not really in control.
No. Whatever you think, you're wrong.
You can manage things, and you can work around things, and you can troubleshoot things, but nature is bigger. You know, rain, wind, sea.
Yeah. We just had a look at the weather as well. We'll hang on here today and tonight. Probably make a run for Dacha tomorrow before more wind and rain comes in. There's nothing wrong with wind. We like wind, but it's just cold at the moment. It's still cold even though it's May. So we'll
stop
give that
winching
a go.
now.
Yeah, yes.
It sound like winching ponds then.
Well, you did.
For a minute. Oh, talking of winching pond, we've got our Aussie flag up on our port side
Thing.
spreader.
Okay, well I'm going to get back to replying to Facebook comments now.
And I need
Facebook
to
is so
focus
slow
on
to load.
I need to focus on this, otherwise I'll poke myself.
Yeah. This restaurant jetty at the end of Bozukkale Bay is a perfect place to tie up and take some chill time. And even yesterday, when we had 30-knot winds coming straight in through the entrance of the bay and technically pushing us back against the jetty, the lazy lines we had held firm and we were kept well off the contact with the jetty. If the jetty is full, you can drop your anchor here. The bottom is sandy with patchy weed, so the holding is quite good, and the guys will come out on their little boat and bring you to the restaurant if need be. Toilets and showers here are fantastic, very modern, very clean, very nice. So all in all, a great place. Put it on your bucket list. Hopefully the camera's going to pick up this without too much wind noise. Last night, while we were sitting here having dinner, Ansha, Jim and myself, in the distance at the entrance of the bay, we saw the flashing blue and red lights of a Coast Guard vessel towing in a very small yacht, which is now tied up on the dock over there. The guy had apparently had engine problems, and with the wind blowing the way it was blowing him towards Greece. Here we are a day on, and we're now sat down again for dinner. Jim and Ange have just gone back to Acheron to get gin and tonics, very civilised. Meanwhile, I'm just going to have an FS beer. How strange. Anyway, moving on with the story, we are going to Dacha tomorrow, which is a 20-mile hop that way. The wind should die down. It's predicted to die down. This guy with the broken engine on his boat needs to go to Dacha. Jim has offered to tow him to Dacha. So our original time of leaving was 9 o'clock. I think we've now brought that forward probably to 8 or somewhere around 7, because obviously when you're towing a vessel you can't go at full speed. So it's going to be interesting. An exciting agenda tomorrow. Let's see what happens as we tow about 20 miles to Dacha. The adventure continues.
So the line that Jim is using is floating line, which is a lot safer because it won't get caught up under any propellers or anything. So there's Jim on Acheron, beginning to tow the little 15-foot boat all the way from Bozukkale to Dacha. It's about a 4-hour trip.
We went on ahead first to Dacha so that we could be ready to assist Jim when he arrived at the anchorage. We deployed the dinghy so that Baz could tow the little yacht from Acheron into the harbour.
Do you guys have your dinghy deployed yet?
We do. We've just let it out now. Baz is just taking it round to the side over.
Okay, I'll kind of swing past the harbour and have a look, but if it looks tricky, I'll just come out, and if you can take the tow line in your dinghy, that would be awesome.
After that heroic and successful mission, Jim anchored Acheron close to ABC.
This morning we are waking up to a slightly overcast day here in Dacha in Turkey. We dropped anchor here yesterday afternoon, and for the first time ever our mantis didn't dig in. It actually dragged a little bit. We had read in the pilot guides that the holding here in this particular bay, this is the South Bay of Dacha, is patchy to say the least. So because we were in such shallow water and had a huge amount of rode out, we just managed to gently bring the boat backwards, and then the mantis eventually found purchase and dug in nice and solid. We do have 40 meters of chain out again, because apparently, if the wind prediction websites are correct, coming from over there on those mountains will be a large amount of wind today, possibly gusting up to 30 knots, sustained around about 20 to 25 knots. So as I said, we dropped the anchor over there in 4 meters, 5 meters with 40 meters of chain out, so that's plenty for us. Should we drag, we'll be dragging that way, so plenty of space for us to get the situation back under control.
Where are we off to today, Captain?
Today we are up in anchor in Dacha in Turkey and taking a short 20 nautical mile trip to Knidos, where we will overnight, I think maybe 1 or 2 nights, it just depends on what the wind is doing. So it's a great day, we've actually got some wind, so it could be sails up and actual sailing today.
Yeah, it's a cool breeze, it's picking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think a couple of jackets, a couple of layers today.
Yeah. It's the way the furling line is going into the drum. It's not stacking neatly, it's actually gathering in one spot.
Oh.
So it gets thick in one place,
Yes.
and then catches on the inside of the drum.
Okay.
So the wind is 15 knots from behind, and we're still doing about 5 knots of speed over ground, which is not too bad. It'll be interesting to see what happens when we get to this point and turn to starboard, because then theoretically it should be a big reach, which will be a heck of a lot better for us. So we're less than a mile from the starboard turn. Dragging. She's in. Yeah. So you're at 20. We're in 9 meters. Let it out to 30 and then snub it. Right, let's sit here. Well, that was an interesting sail of sorts. The wind was kind of behind us, then we turned a corner and there was no wind. Then as we went further around the corner, the wind picked up, but it was mostly on the nose, so we kind of did a
Bit of a head sail thing.
Bit of a head sail thing, and the wind picked up to around about 17-18 knots, which was nice, and we got up to 6 knots of speed, and then all of a sudden the wind just decided to go away again. So the wind gods were very playful today. Here we are now in Knidos. There is a well-marked entrance with a red and green channel marker. If you come through there, you're perfectly safe. If you go outside of the channel markers, you're likely to bang into some underwater obstructions, some ancient...
it's the ancient walls of
harbour
the old
walls.
harbour,
Yeah. The reported holding here was bad. It's a mixture of weeds, sand and rock. And we dropped anchor in 5 meters of water up to the northwest, and it didn't go in at all, so we gently motored back and we could feel the anchor dragging along the bottom. I reckon we must have moved a couple of 100 meters before eventually the mantis dug in and held us in position. So we're currently in 9 meters.
Yeah.
And we've got
38
meters of chain out. So we're just going to put the boat to bed.
Yeah, we're going to track it though.
Yeah, we will track it, and what we're going to do is, because the water here is crystal clear, when we drop the dinghy, we'll take a dive mask, stick that on, poke our head over the side and have a look at the anchor, just to visually check whether it's gone into sand or whether it's just hooked on rocks. But I think maybe it's in sand.
Let's hope.
Yeah, so we'll take a look.
If not, we'll pick it up and we'll start again.
Yeah. Alright, let's get this boat put to bed.
Join us next week on Sailing ABC as we head for Didin, our last anchorage in Turkey before we leave for Greece. If you've enjoyed this video, do give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you share this video with your friends, you're really helping us out.